we need to talk about this points deduction, and does it really change anything for Group C and CAF World Cup qualifying? So, for everyone who's been under a rock, it's a lovely place to be. Um, South Africa have been docked 3 points for playing a player who had too many yellows, who accumulated too many yellows in the game over Lesotho. And so FIFA finally docked them. And there was a lot of going back and forth with it. To me, it was a matter of when versus if, because in another CAF group, Equatorial Guinea, the group that I'm going to scroll here, guys, love life. So in this group, where Tunisia beat Equatorial Guinea at the end and made it through, Equatorial Guinea had a player who was deemed ineligible, and then he was then reinstated. But FIFA/CAF didn't give them the wins that they had. If not for them, Tunisia isn't in the World Cup yet. So because they already did that, this was never a surprise for me that this was going to happen. So beforehand, South Africa was at 17 points, but because they lost the win, they're at 14, which means because of goal difference, Benin is leading the group. Nigeria is still alive. Rwanda is still alive. A really long shot. Lesotho is alive, and Zimbabwe, I mean, you're happy to be here. It is wild to me that after all that Nigeria has done, and yes, apparently, this is the part of the program where I have to say something negative against Nigeria, apparently, but it is baffling to me that after all how they've bundled this and bumbled this, that they are still just one swing away. And to be honest, I'll give my opinion right off the bat. You guys can tell me how you feel. I still don't think they make it. Not because I don't like them. Okay, this has to be, let the record show. Nigeria have not been scoring. And that to me, and it baffles me that a team that's talented are unable to score. Cool. That's been their issue, right? They've been unable to score. They have 9 goals for, 7 goals against. So under more pressure, they've not done better, right? They needed to get more wins in past windows. They weren't able to do it. They have a lifeline here. I still think South Africa makes it through, even though South Africa has the harder route. As I believe South Africa plays Rwanda and then Benin, while Nigeria plays Lesotho and Benin, I believe, is the games. I'll pull it up here. But Mo, you're watching this because you're getting ready for AFCON. Do you think Nigeria can pull this off and make it to the World Cup? Or is it, I mean, it got late early. The sun peaked over a few clouds, but sunset's already here. You think it's over for them. Guys, this is a Senegalese man speaking, so
I don't think it's over for them just yet.
Okay.
I African Juju is working on something. I think for me, I'm still skeptical on the whole, too many yellows, because I think it's almost an embarrassment for not only South Africa, but the CAF and FIFA, because how many clearance do you have to go through to not know you have too many yellows to play?
I think it's a reasonable mistake, but it's also at that level, it's inexcusable. You can tell me that you can make that mistake, but it's inexcusable at that level because everyone is checking their P's and Q's. The risk of losing 3 points, you don't do that. I can understand it's happening, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's the part where there's too many checks and balances for you to not know you have that. The other one, the eligible player, I can understand maybe, paperwork's. But I think that's pretty much the lifeline of Nigeria on there. So they're experienced enough, even though they're not scoring many goals, they're experienced enough to see that they're only 3 points away. Ivory Coast have shown us during the last CAF tournament that you could be at the very bottom and it just takes a small spark to bring you up back from the dead.
Why would you
So
bring that up?
so for me, this is like pure African soccer that you see on paper now, right? Something weird happens, and of course, I'm sure there's not many World Cup that we do not want to see Nigeria playing.
It's look, I would love to see them there. Also, way to bring up how a swipe of magic for Cote d'Ivoire to make it three. You know what that swipe of magic was? You know what that swipe of magic was Ghana giving up a 2 goal lead in additional time and
My
drawing that. Thank
apologies.
no, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mo. You
Yeah,
know, thank
that's why I didn't say the team. I just said
a
Ivory
swipe.
Coast.
You said a swipe. I heard you. I heard you loud and
Yeah,
clear.
so I think it's just African soccer where it's pure drama, where you think it's a set and done, black and white. You win, you lose, you move, or you don't make it.
Hmm.
There's the perfect example where Nigeria is not supposed to be where they are, and all of a sudden they're
Hmm.
thrown a lifeline.
Very true. Lane, I don't know how much of this you've watched or kind of kept an eye on this, but when you're looking at a team that basically felt like they were left for dead, but then are given a lifeline, you think there's enough energy to rejuvenate them and keep them going? Or do you think, based off their form, you kind of have to look at how they're playing versus what the opportunities that's presented to them there?
I think for me, keeping up with the situation, Nigeria has to almost at least get 4 points here, right? Because I don't think South Africa is gonna fall off. I think this is more so gonna galvanize South Africa, and I think they're gonna top this group probably quite easily, in my
Hmm.
opinion. And this will not be a setback. Anything, this might just build up this nation anything more and help them get back in that first World Cup since 2010. And then when you look at Nigeria and that best second place team, they almost have to get almost maximum points, at least 4, because that second best place team right now, if I recall correctly, are 15 points as we stand. If I look this morning, 15, 16 points. So
Yeah.
Nigeria has a lot to do. They almost have to win both these games, and that requires them to beat Benin, which I don't expect them to do on the last day. And it's not going to be an easy game against Lesotho, who need to win themselves to keep themselves alive. And they'll surely, well, nothing against Zimbabwe, but they should beat Zimbabwe in the last day. So 6 points for Lesotho, and they could still have a possibility. So it is a very difficult window for Nigeria. I'm not going to say they lose both of them. I think they win and draw as they usually do. But I really don't think they make it in. I'm not saying their hope is completely dead here, but I can easily see this group probably going South Africa, Benin, Nigeria. And as much of a lifeline as it is, I think this may in the long run help out South Africa more than helps out Nigeria with this setback.
No, that's true. And we threw up the schedule on the screen here. Nigeria plays Lesotho and South Africa plays Zimbabwe same day, October 10th, same time, which I mean works well. And then their final game, it's South Africa versus Rwanda, who have shown Rwanda have been are my new don't sleep on team for the future. It used to be Cape Verde, and we're no longer sleeping on them. They're there, and Nigeria been in as well. So, like you said, I think it does come down to South Africa knows they just need to stay ahead, but they just need Benin to fall. And with Nigeria almost works for South Africa here. Whereas because Nigeria needs to get the results. So even if Nigeria goes 6 points up, South Africa versus Zimbabwe, I think, though that's a bit of a regional derby, I think South Africa takes that. And then versus Rwanda, a 4 point window for them versus a 6 point window for someone else, I think gives them just enough to get through, and then they're fine. And you did mention the second place slots and where they currently sit. That group, there's no second place, barring a collapse from other teams. There is no second place slot available for them. The only worst slot would be Tanzania, just because with teams dropping out, they've missed out on points that they would get. But South Africa currently sit as the second worst second place team, though it's only 14 points. But because there's so many teams at 15, so many teams at 16, and then Gabon, they need it's the top of the group or stop dreaming, basically, for them. And I think that's how you have to look at it. So I think for them, like you said, run the table, get to the top of your group. That will get it done for you. But if not, you're hoping for other teams that there's only so many lifelines. I don't see teams self-imploding. Everyone is not going to self-implode for Nigeria. No one else really. Listen, okay?
Hey,
There's not enough Naira for that to work. There's not enough Naira for that to work. Okay?
Oh, you sure about that?
I mean, inflation is a tricky thing, my friend. It's a tricky thing.
Hey, they just added a flight from Nigeria to Colombia. So
listen, like
those transfers are starting already. Hey.
Look, these are CAF referees. We're good. We're good. These are CAF referees. Oh, goodness. Goodness. So CAF will be interesting. That